Hi Internet, welcome to another episode of Prison Architect Modding with me. Today I'll be showing you exactly what sprites are and how to make some of your own custom sprites. To start spriting, we're going to need a couple of programs to edit our sprite and create our own. So you're going to need a photo editor or image creator. I like to use GIMP, but it is your choice on what program you use. GIMP works well for me because it's simple. Photoshop for me is just it's too expensive for this kind of low sprite creation, and it's also too complicated for most users. So I stick with GIMP because it's free, it's easy to use, and as you can see, it's a very simple design. Okay, so right now I'm in my Prison Architect mods folder. I'm going to test one, and I think we'll create our own thumbnail first. So to do that, you're going to go into your photo editing program. You go to new, and then you're going to set the width and the height to 654 pixels each, and the resolution really doesn't matter, but you do want to make it transparent, and we can fill it in with white if we need to later. So here is your thumbnail and what it's going to look like. I'm quickly going to put something in and then show you guys the end result. Okay, so this is my final result. To be honest, for me, this is a really poorly done thumbnail. I did this in about 30 seconds. What you can do to make it better is give it rounded borders. I'm just doing this really quickly, and you can see that I've got 3 layers. I should probably have more, and the reason it looks checkerboardy is because I've made this layer opaque, not opaque, sorry, translucent, so that it looks better for one. So once you're happy with your result, you're going to export it as a PNG file, a portable something. So once you go into export and then export it anywhere, I would go onto your desktop first and then title it thumbnail. You want to save the background color if you get that option. Export, and you can close this off without saving because you have the file here. So it's here. We can take a look at it. It looks alright. And you just want to drag it in, Control X into your mod folder. So here's another example of another one made for my other mod. As you can see, it is much clearer, and that's a custom sprite that I just copied straight in. And also you can see my text is really big, so you want people to be able to see your mod name, who made it, and maybe put the logo in the back, which is, you don't need to download it from the internet because it is somewhere here. There you go, Prison Architect. Just copy that in, and then you've got yourself a very professional looking thumbnail. Okay, so the next thing we can do is add sprites to the game. So go into your data file, and you want to go into your photo editing program, create a template that has, the dimensions can vary, but make sure it is the width and the height are multiples of 64. So just to keep it safe, I'm going to go 192 to start off with. We can always make it bigger, so we'll make that a square template. So the next thing I need to tell you is that the game reads sprites in a very, I guess, weird manner. Each block, I guess, is 32 pixels. So there's one block, and then if you wanted to get another block, that'd be 64 pixels, somewhere around here. That's pretty much the default size for any Prison Architect sprite. So that's 64 by 64, and I can confirm that by showing you the objects file. I'll edit this with GIMP. It's opened. As you can see, everything is transparent, which I have done. As you can see, this is a really big file, 2048 by 2048 pixels, that is. So let's take the bookshelf for an example. The bookshelf measures 64 by 64 pixels. You just need to know where the actual sprite ends and starts, so that probably isn't it because it cuts into the toilet. So our sprite.png is relatively small compared to others, but yeah, other sprite banks, that's what they're called. And now I need to tell you another thing, is that the game measures this in multiples of 64, like I said, and because of that, let's say this solitary door, for example, is located at 2, its x coordinate is 2 and its y coordinate is 2. We measure the sprite from the top left corner, as it is I guess traditional to coding, but that's pretty much it, I guess. So now you want to go back to your sprites file, and you're going to want to measure it out and see how big you want to know where your sprite starts and ends. That's a 64, so I'm going to mark it off somewhere here. I can clean it up later. And here is where I want to put my first sprite, which is a pen from the objects that we made a couple of. Actually no, let's not make a pen. Let's make a binder. This fits perfectly with what we're going to do. So because I am not a very good artist and I am horrible at using photoshopping programs or photo editing programs, I am going to copy a sprite straight off the Prison Architect file. So this may seem a bit cheap, but I assure you it's not copyright. At least I hope so. I hope it isn't. Let's zoom in a bit more, get that right in the center. Well, it's already in the center. So choose a sprite that you want, if of course you don't want to draw your own, and make sure it's 64. Sorry, no, not 64. Make sure it's the right size. For me it's 192 because it's 3 blocks wide. No, it's 6 blocks wide, but 3 times 64 blocks long. And you're going to want to make sure it's the right height as well. So This is a bit more difficult because you're going to need to work this out. So 32 times 3, 96. So I'm going to want to put it at 96, and there's our perfect sprite. You can call it that. Just make sure that this is 192. Oh, can't see. Doesn't matter. And we can put this right at the top. If this actually fits. Yep, that's fine, and yep, that's fine. So there's our binder, but I don't want it to look like a workshop saw, so I could potentially change this bit. I could recolor the board, which I am going to do really quickly. Nice bright pink to go there, and a darker pink to go as the shadow. That actually looks decent. I can also change the chair legs if I really wanted to, in which I will. Of course, that's definitely not professional, but we'll have to deal with it. So now that we've made our sprite, we can go define the position of the sprite in our folder. But first you'll want to export this again to the desktop, call it sprites.png, export it, export, and you can close this off in data file, and then just put it right there. Alright, so I'll see you guys in the materials.txt where we'll be defining where our sprite. Okay, so I'm in the binder. What we can do is begin our sprite. So as you remember, if I open the sprite.png, not sprites, here you go, minimize that, let's make it a bit smaller for you to see. Oh well, you can't see it, but the sprite is originally in the top left corner, so we can tell the game that the position is at x0 and y0, and the width, if you remember, is 32. So is 6 times 32 long. Put a 6 there, and it's approximately 3 down. So as a height, we'll put 3. The rotate type, I'll explain that in another video, but most of these processes are they are made not to rotate, so things that cannot be rotated is type 4. Save that off. We can leave the markers because markers only tell the game that the printer works or the binder works. And yeah, that's about it. I'll show you guys what it looks like in the game. Okay, so I'm in my game at the moment, and if I continue it, you'll see people move, obviously. But if I go into the objects tab, you can see our object is there. I can place it down and get my workmen to build it. I'll go into super fast mode. These are installing lights, but someone should be coming with the object soon. There it is. Let's just watch him, or watch whoever is taking it. Let's follow it. Just a bit of waiting. he'll be there soon. And there you go. As you can see, paper is being ordered, which is a good thing because we have set it to do that in the last episode. And as you can see, it is a bright pink fluorescent base and blue legs, which is what we wanted it to do. Pity there aren't any lights around, but you can also see that the toolbar sprite is it looks like that, which is correct. The only thing is it doesn't look very nice. If we compare it to the workshop saw and the workshop press, it just doesn't look good. There is no way to make a toolbar sprite, and sorry about that, there is no way to make a toolbar sprite at the moment in Prison Architect, so don't even try. But what we'll have to live with that. It looks good, you can make it look better, and yeah. And that's it for this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed and found this episode useful. Don't forget to comment, like and subscribe. Share this with your friends. Thank you for those who already have subscribed. It means a lot to me. And next episode we'll be covering some room sprites. It'll be a short episode, but I'll show you guys how to make a room sprite. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.